Hey guys, so basically I have been a writer my entire life. I wrote my first stories in kindergarten. I can remember filling up scribblers with these loop-de-loop scripts. I thought I was writing. No one else could read what I was writing, but I could, and I would tell the stories to my classmates. And this continued right up. I wrote my first actual book in grade 5, so I guess 10, 11 years old. I used to give up recess time to write out the stories. At least it was something you could actually read. So of course it wasn't published, but it was something that other people could read besides me. And in classic me style, because it got so much attention from my other classmates, and they used to tell substitute teachers and whatnot, look, oh, she gives up recess time to write her stories and blah, blah, blah. I destroyed it. I took this book and I threw it out because it was getting me way too much attention. And this kind of set the tone for the rest of my creative career, actually. Like a lot of my writing, I was a writer who wrote in dark corners. I would never admit to being a writer. And it was also something I was a little bit ashamed of. Like I felt like I wasn't good enough to be doing it. And then I had children. So, whereas before children I had lots of time to indulge in this kind of behavior, afterwards I didn't have time for anything. My partner was in a startup, so I was a startup widow completely. I mean, on one hand it was great. They went from 2 people up to 250 in 4 years. On the other hand, I gave birth to my daughter at 5 a.m. He left at 9 a.m. and at 1 o'clock p.m. he was back at the office, not in the hospital with me. So it really is a case of, it was extreme. And so of course my creativity and my creative time was what really got put on the burner. And then about, I don't know, 6 months ago, after like really struggling, this is my dog barking on the beach, after a couple of years of really struggling, I had a second kid and I really felt like I was drowning, and I hadn't even realized just how destructive a lot of my behaviors were beforehand, and all of a sudden I had kids on top of it. I wasn't able to dig out what was going on. And then I realized something had to change. It was really getting to the point where I was getting really depressed and blaming my family a fair bit for not being able to have the creative life I wanted, and realizing that I was telling myself a lot of stories that I wasn't really even paying attention to. Like it was kind of like, now I understand why people say you get attached to a story, because you kind of realize this is why I can't do things. And so that's why I decided to start the Creative Mermaids, because I wanted people to kind of realize that the messy middle is what most of us are going through. That, you know, that when you look at things like Instagram and whatnot and you're going, oh man, they've got the perfect writing life and this is what I want, that actually it's a presentation and it's still a story they're telling. And so I started the Creative Mermaids outside for that explicit purpose, to kind of go through and help other women, especially moms, but women in general, to create their own creative lives on their terms, and to go with, you know what, this is my journey, not to be looking at other people, to kind of be looking inside. And this is what the journals and the workbooks are all supposed to be part of, that you work towards that. I'm only in the startup phase. I only have 1 journal out. Next one I'm working on, and I'm actually just about to release an email course. So, but most of it's focused on mothers, not all of it, but most of it. But what it's really focused on in particular is living the creative life you want, a vibrant and creative living life. Okay, I'm at 3 minutes. That was a little bit rambly, but I figured, you know what? I'm doing this!